Hey, Anthony, do you want to sing?
Sure, let's do it. Let me
Do
pick out my gun first. Go ahead. Do
do do
do
do
do
do
do
do
do
do
do
the
do the
Queer Collective
podcast.
podcast.
I swear, we're gonna get that one day. Ryan, what do we have
Anthony,
coming up in this
we're
episode?
back.
The second episode.
That's right. Today we are talking about woman loving woman helping women. So we talked to 4 wonderful female guests from various backgrounds and ethnicities and orientations.
Hi, my name is Dana St. Amand. I am a trans woman. Dana is Trans over on TikTok. I'm this tenacious asshole who can take that.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie. I go by Mackenzie, MCKNENSEA, like the ocean, because I'm a marine naturalist and marine researcher, but I also advocate for a lot of LGBT things because I am a pansexual woman. I'm so excited to just drag J.K. Rowling across this stage.
Hi, I'm Chelsea. Sorry, I had to unmute myself first. I am a queer woman, and my TikTok is _Mayday, MEIDAY _ the pressure's on in creating content, I have to say. Just would like to say that the Oprah of China is a trans woman.
I'm Allie. I identify as a lesbian woman. I'm really happy to be here. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this, so thank you so much for having me. I've been a Keke Palmer stan since like Nickelodeon days, but...
What does women helping women in a queer space, what does that look like to you?
Once we start, deleting the brainwash history that we had before, it really becomes easier for us to have, those conversations about what it is to help each other.
If you are in this world and you have the experience of a woman in this world, then you are a woman.
This topic is about women who have led women, who are leading women, and trans women have been some of the top women leading women. We have Sylvia Rivera, we have Marsha P. Johnson, we have Andrea Jenkins, who is the first Black openly trans woman voted into U.S. office in 2017. There have been some trans women that have been literally leading the way for women's rights, and that's all women's rights, not trans women's rights. So they're also extremely important in this topic.
And trans women too, even the ones that don't easily pass. Was that the right way to say things? Pass? How would you say that, Dana?
We kind of say blend in now, because passing is not the ultimate goal.
Right.
And one of the things that I notice a lot in the queer space is people not necessarily immediately accepting a trans woman's experience if they transitioned a little later in life, like I did. Well, later in life being in my 20s. When we speak about intersectionality when it comes to feminism, we also need to appreciate and understand that as a trans woman, I was never a man. My experience has always been, have been a trans woman who did not realize she was trans.
Honestly, I find a lot of trans radical feminism to just be about what's in your pants. That's it. And that doesn't matter, because if someone out there is being viewed by the patriarchy in the exact same way that I am, or even worse, I should be fighting for them as an intersectional feminist. That's it.
I think a lot of people, when it comes to feminism, they automatically think of figures like Susan B. Anthony, and she was historically racist. And I think she was the one who said she'd rather have her arm cut off before a Black man got the right to vote.
I would also love to point out, if y'all have Netflix, you should watch the half of it. It's a super cute queer love story with an Asian American female lead who's a lesbian, or we don't know what she is. She's something. And it's just the cutest little representation of myself up there.
Because I used to work for a company that managed drag queens. So most of the trans women I've worked with professionally have come from the drag scene and have transitioned after they were on Drag Race or something like that. So it's this very interesting dichotomy that I got to see from Peppermint, from Sonique, from Carmen Carrera, from Jiggly Caliente, and a couple others. And I had a huge amount of respect for them for going into a gay man's space and then out of that as trans women that they are.
You can't just say, no, I'm no, you can't have this job because you naturally bleed once a month. That's completely ridiculous, right? And it still happens to this day.
Like, and as a little kid, to so deeply hate something that you see in the mirror every single day, just because it's so different from everyone around you and everyone is making it a point to make you seem different. It's such a hard and confusing message to send to a kid. Like, just the way that they are is wrong.
And I remember turning to my mom and I go, Mom, I don't want to be Black anymore. She goes, why? Why would you say that? I said, well, because we're not pretty. We're not pretty. We're not on TV. And like, I get emotional just talking about it because like, to be that young and be that affected and see that, you know, you're not, it makes you feel not wanted and less than, very much so less than. So that misrepresentation or that underrepresentation is very much so affecting and it's very damaging to especially a young girl's psyche.
But I think that Allie's story is why this podcast, or like this episode of this podcast, is so incredibly important, because queer history has been long erased, and especially when you're getting into the double minorities, so people that are Black and queer, people that are, you know, certain religion and queer, or Jewish and queer, have a lot of their history literally erased.
I'm not a straight man, but I know that women-loving women are fetishized by straight men. I see some eye rolls here going.
One more straight man asks me how I fuck my girlfriend, I am killing all men.
Please say it again. Please say it again. Because I didn't recall it was anybody's business but me and my girlfriend.
You don't know what you're missing dick. Like, no, honey, I can buy dick. I buy several dicks. I have them. Do you want to see?
Well, I think another, just to piggyback off what you were saying about being fetishized as a Black woman, what's so infuriating is you want our lips and you want our big butts and you want our small waists, but you don't want our skin.
I have a feeling, and this could be completely off base, but I have a feeling it all comes down to the control dynamic of we're considered to be so othered that we are something that needs to be controlled. And so people develop a fetish for us in a manner that is controlling. I am not a straight trans woman, and I have dealt with, thankfully, women my entire dating experience. And I have not experienced so much of that fetishization as straight trans women do on a daily basis.
The whole argument in fighting the patriarchy too. It's not about like killing all cis men, right? It's about smashing this sense of entitlement that grown cis het men seem to have in this country, especially, the white ones. I don't know why I apologize for that, but I mean, we know this to be true. Not
to toot my own horn, but I actually get compared to Angela Davis a lot. The fact that she was not only a political activist, she was in movies. She was, what else? I had some notes here. She was a philosopher. She was an author. She did all these things. Showed other Black little girls that you can do anything and be anything you want, not just one thing. You don't have to, stick to being a housewife or, cooking and cleaning and raising children. You can fight for your people and also be on the silver screen and also, write down your thoughts and be eloquent. And also, you can do anything and also be gay.
Gladys Bentley and... Yes, Dad.
Can we record this as behind the scenes for the Patreon?
Hi, Dad!
They're laughing at you. Dad, do you know what a he-him lesbian is?
He-him?
A he-him lesbian. Do you know what a he-him lesbian is?
What's a lesbian?
So a lesbian is technically a woman.
Well, first of all, my mom said, if you're going to marry a Black man, he better be Obama or Colin Powell, which I was like, what?
Even when it comes to the military or being on the water as sailors, marine workers, scientists, all of this stuff that are tended to be male-dominated fields, queer women are the ones that have broken through that threshold and made it possible for the rest of us to continue to have these jobs.
It's a trans story that is disguised as a action movie. And if you go back knowing that it's a trans story, you can really pick up those wonderful little details about the trans experience from them. And they both transitioned after the fact, and they both just came out like a couple weeks ago, finally admitting that they wrote The Matrix as a trans story. I mean, we've known, but they finally, revealed it to the straights.
The fact that we have podcasts like this and are actually opening up a conversation in a dialect, I think it's a great start for our younger generation, because they need to know that us as queer people have had a huge impact on society and the rights of everybody.
Why don't we talk about just general things that you wish men would know? This is what we want you to know about us or our experience.
Take me.
Yes.
Take me. We don't always need your opinion.
Something I'd want to tell all men. Oh gosh, just stop.
It's not necessarily something that I want to say to men. I do not want to be like hypothetically put in the situation that I'm your mother or your sister or you're like, I don't need that sort of a reference in your life in order for you to treat me as a basic human being.
Just because I work in traditionally masculine jobs does not make me regret transitioning.
What advice would you give to the young girls of today?
Fucking love yourself.
Shit, stay bold.
Please do your research. Just anything that you want to get into, please do your research.
Trust yourself. Trust your experience. Trust what you're going through. Trust what you're feeling. Trust what makes you comfortable. Trust what makes you uncomfortable.
All right. Well, again, I want to thank you, everybody, for being here. Your socials will be linked in the show notes below. So for anyone listening that wants an easy way to just go and find them, you can click down in the description. And I appreciate, again, you all being here. I think we had a wonderful discussion. And so thank you very much.
You should give our Patreon a look-see. We have so many different tiers that offer so much exclusive content.
And it would mean a lot to support us because we have big aspirations here at the Queer Collective. Again, we're an organization with over 100 queer content creators who are looking to change the world. And joining us and being a part of the Queer Collective through the Patreon helps us continue our mission for queer liberation.
How cute is Dana, though?
Dana is a queen, an icon we love. She serves.
She's a heartbreaker, that is for sure.
Speaking of heartbreaks, I feel like you're going to have to break my heart because you have to leave to go do some homework.
Well, I got homework I got to get done. But before I go and write this badass paper, just a reminder to anyone listening to these podcasts, please subscribe, rate, download, and continue to enjoy because we are having so much fun doing these every week.
100%. Please rate, subscribe, download. It will help us. It will boost us into the trending charts. And it will overall just help our mission for queer liberation be completed. Well, not completed, but progressed. And so thank you for listening and thank you for tuning in. And we look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.